minutes in. Carry on Alice breaks their hearts again.
Pulling clear in the closing stages. Smart Call wins the Jambi Mid. And Smart Call comes home to win it in the main Chance Farms Paddock Stakes.
Well, it's been a while since our last Breeding to Win show, so we hope you've kept warm and dry over the past couple of days while the much needed rain has fallen over most of the country. We just need that rain now to filter down to Cape Town, and then all will be well. Well, let's take a look at what we've got in store for you on this edition of Breeding to Win. We chat to Matthew de Kock about his chances in the 3 legs of the Triple Crown. We bring you our highlights package of the Alistair Cohen Golf Day, and we look at 2 stallions managed by top stallion manager John Freeman.
Every sip, the taste uniquely Dunkin'. Each cup, uniquely you. Brewed fresh because it's not just any coffee, it's your coffee. Your Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin'.
Risk and reward. Odds and evens. Facts and form. Come and play. Play and win. At Track and Ball. Track and Ball Gaming, a new South African sportsbook offering the latest local and worldwide prices. Branches in Chatsworth, Stanger, Durban North, Shelley Beach, Pietermaritzburg and Richards Bay. To open an account or bet online, visit trackandball.co.za.
Inglis Premier is a winning formula, offering over 700 quality yearlings across 4 days and prepared by Australia and New Zealand's leading consigners, producing elite racehorses like Agugu, Alboran Sea, Mac Delago and the Conglomerate.
The Conglomerate sweeps into the lead. The Conglomerate, Bella Bella.
Melbourne Premier is a winning formula. The 2017 Melbourne Premier Yearling Sale, February 26 to March 1 at Oaklands, Melbourne. For information, visit inglis.com.au.
Well, our special guest on Breeding to Win is a young, talented and up-and-coming trainer, Matthew de Kock, and it's my pleasure to welcome Matthew to the studio, and warm welcome to Breeding to Win.
Thanks, Jules. Thanks for the kind words.
It has been a while since we last had you in the studio, Matt, so how are things going for you and for the stable?
Thanks, Jules. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, we're very busy at the moment. We've got a lot of young up-and-coming horses, and you know, hopefully they can fulfill their promise over the season. Yeah, it's been busy. The team's working hard, and yeah, it's just nice to be here again.
Absolutely. Well, let's chat about your dad reaching his 3,000th winner, because only a few more left to reach that amazing milestone, and a huge compliment, I suppose, to the team as well.
Yeah, it's been a long journey for him. You know, it wasn't easy. He started at the bottom, so mostly to him, it's a big achievement. Personally, I'm very proud of him as well. And you're right, it is a team effort. Along the way, there's been many people come and go, but everyone's contributed in a small way. You know, only 5 to go, so it's quite close, and it's seems to, you know, when you start counting down, it seems to really take its time, but it'll be exciting when it happens, and it's a very proud achievement, very big achievement.
And I suppose it doesn't help when you've got all these race meetings in between being abandoned because of weather.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of just
frustrating.
Teasing us, but hopefully that just means that when it happens, it'll be on a big day or a nice race or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of 3,000 winners, it's so many horses that have been prepared for certain races, and everyone thinks, oh, sometimes it's like pushing buttons, and it's not. It's actually to get them past the post and to do it well. And I think many of those 3,000 have been Grade 1 and graded feature race winners. So it's just not a normal race that comes from the De Kock stable. So I think a huge feather in the Mike De Kock camp.
Thanks very much, Jules.
Let's move on to the Triple Crown this year, because we've seen in the past couple of years it's been difficult to get a horse to win the Triple Crown, and then all of a sudden we had Louis the King do it a couple of years back, and then we had Abashiri do it last year, and that has been a while between drinks, especially since Horse Chestnut was the very first horse to have achieved that. Now, you've nominated 5 horses for the Gauteng Guineas, 6 horses for the Fillies Guineas, and you've got 2 fillies in the Gauteng Guineas as well. So you've got quite a strong hand going into the first leg, Matt.
Yeah, we do. We're lucky. Like I said, we've got a big young string. I think with the fillies, we were more than likely just elect to keep them in their own sex at this stage, because we'd nominated them because they've both beaten the colts, and if they drew badly in the fillies and well in the colts, then we could consider taking our chances there. But they've drawn pretty much the same in both races, so we've elected to go with the fillies.
Okay, so we've got Ectify and Orchid Island. I think both, as you said, have taken on the boys. Both really smart individuals. So could they be Triple Tiara contenders?
Ectify probably not. Even the mile, I think, is going to be stretching her. She's got a lot of speed, and she seems to just do enough in the 1400s. So hopefully she'll have enough class to see out the mile. Orchid Island's bred to go the whole way. The mile will probably be on the sharp side for her, but also just in saying that, hopefully her class will pull her through in the mile, as she's just going to be getting better through the second and third legs. I'm
glad you said that, because her last win for me was super impressive, and she turns it on. She's got an absolute amazing turn of foot.
She does, and she's quite an incredible filly. She only weighs 405 kilograms, so she's really small, and the way she won last time, she didn't even come out of third gear, it looked like. She was really cruising. And Furiosa went and franked that form. So it was an impressive victory, and it was a long break before the Guineas, and we decided, being such a small filly, we're not going to over-race her, and we'll just keep her nice and fresh for the Guineas and go from then to the second and third legs.
Okay, let's chat about the boys, because obviously the Triple Crown with that 2 million rand bonus is always something trainer, an owner, a jockey wants to win. Have you got any candidates from those 5 nominees that could potentially win the Triple Crown?
Yeah, it's obviously it's a very tough ask to win the Triple Crown. Probably the best candidate is Heavenly Blue. But now that he's maturing, it's almost like the mile is really on the sharp side for him. And he hasn't got the best draw, so he'll need a bit of luck. And if he could win the first leg, then I reckon he could be a big horse for the next 2 legs, because he's probably going to be better suited to the 9 furlong trip of the Classic and the Derby distance. A horse like Janubi, I'm not quite sure if he's going to stay the 2 for 50, whereas I think he'll definitely get the mile and the 9 furlong trip. And we've got a horse like Dafiq, who's been slightly disappointing in his last 2 starts, but he has got a lot of potential, and he is bred to stay all 3 legs, but he's got to pick up his feet a little bit.
So there needs to be some improvement to come from Dafiq. So it's Heavenly Blue, that you're kind of sticking with over there, that could potentially see out the Derby distance. Because, ultimately, as a 3-year-old, it's always tough. The first 2 legs sometimes could be a little bit easier, but it's the Derby that tends to kind of, be the hardest leg to win. And the De Kock stable has a knack for winning the Derby. You guys just know how to prepare the horses for that South African Derby.
Yeah, thanks, Jules. It's probably just down to we always trying to buy classic type of horses and well-bred horses that stay the Derby distance, and we feel like we do train them hard and we do get them very fit. So, yeah, listen, he is probably the one that could do it, but like I said, he may not even be our first choice in the mile, because he just seems, the more he's mature he's getting, the more he's crying for that extra distance.
Extra trip. You've got a great string in Dubai at the moment. Any horses that stand out from your stable this season for the viewers to look out for, that you think could really be the ones that put the De Kock stable in headlights?
Yeah, well, it's the Dubai season's almost kind of come and gone already, so it's been a tough year. The the tracks haven't been easy to work with, and the dirt has been very challenging. The South African horses, obviously, they really battle when they get there, but from their side, I would say two of the horses that were late arrivals that were ones to look out for, maybe for next season, is Suyuf and Daquique. Daquique is a nice young horse. He's only had one run in South Africa, and he ran third in a feature there first time in his second career start. So I think for next season, when he's had time to settle in, he's going to be a big horse to reckon, a big force to reckon with. And then the normal, I mean, obviously Noah from Goa, he's been running well. Seems that he just lacks that extra couple of lengths to make him world class, although he's a very good horse. And then the old-timer Mubtaish, he'll be going for the World Cup again. He runs this week, Thursday, so hopefully he can run well. But he's the type of horse that probably needs a run or two under his belt to reach peak fitness. And last year that happened. He didn't run a place in his first two runs, and on World Cup night he ran second. So it's all geared towards that, and hopefully, Harrogate and them decide not to come, and then we'll have a bit more of a chance.
Always exciting World Cup night, and I think it's a night that the De Kock stable come to the force and kind of raise their game. Yeah,
well, we're always programming towards that, but you got to have the horses. It's not easy. Everyone's coming from all over the world, and really it's a privilege to be there and see the horses come from around the world, top class trainers, jockeys, and you think your horses are good, and then you come to World Cup night and you see those horses. It really humbles you, and you only hope one day that you can have a horse as good as some of those.
Absolutely. Okay, Matt, let's move on to the On a Mission Syndicate, because this is really your baby. Tell us how it all started.
Yeah, Jules, it just, kind of burden on me because obviously now this is my life, and it's our industry, it's everybody's industry, and I just feel like I felt like not too many people were going racing anymore, and why is the reason they're not going racing, and what is the reason for people to come racing? And I just think if it's betting, people can bet from home, and people love convenience these days, so they can sit on their couches and bet at home, and enjoy their day out with a family at home, so you've got to give them a reason to go racing, and I thought the only way is to get people into horses. And one speed bump, so to speak, is that it's very expensive these days to own horses and pay training fees and vet bills, etc., etc. So what was the best way to kind of keep the cost down? And the way I thought of it was, well, syndication is a way to start off in a horse in as cheap as possible, and then the next step was, well, how do we keep the training fees and vet bills down? And I decided, well, let's try and incorporate it into a yearly fee, and try and just look after people like that. And so I broke down shares into 1%, and we ended up buying a horse on the ready to run, which worked out perfectly because you kind of skipped the first phase of breaking in the horse and everything. And I was able to watch the horse gallop, and we enjoyed the horse galloping, and we bought the horse there. And it's obviously just been a dream come true, because things can always still go wrong, and it could turn out to be not such a good horse, but at least if it was cheap, it didn't have such a great effect on the owners. But I think everybody's enjoyed it, and it's worked out well. The horse has won once, and we were able to go to the JMB Met with the horse on racing a big race on the day. Everyone had a great day, and I just think, obviously the horses is why we're here and why we're in this industry, but also for the owners, it's not just the race day that brings the enjoyment, it's the in-between.
It's the
social, and letting them come and see the horse at the yard, and getting videos and pictures of the horse galloping, and just updates every now and again. And we got a little chat group going, and everybody on there's very chirpy, and they're having a good time. And so hopefully we're going to try and buy a few more in the future, as this was quite a success, and hopefully it just goes from strength to strength.
Now, only 1% in the syndicate, so there's a lot of guys involved, and it's not only South African owners. You've got owners from across the world.
Yeah, well, so we obviously advertised on the website, and so it's not limited to South African owners, and we had some interest from Mauritius and Dubai and England and America, so we've got owners from 4 or 5 different countries, and we didn't limit people to 1%, but we gave them that option. And so we've got 17 owners in the horse, so obviously some bought more than 1%. And we only syndicated 50%, and we kept 50% for the grooms and the staff. Just trying to reward the team a little bit.
As an incentive.
As an incentive.
Very good incentive. So
Yeah.
well done.
Thank you,
Congratulations. So they're obviously enjoying it as well.
They're loving it. You know, they were very happy when the horse won, obviously. And, you know, I'm sure they're hoping we try and do a few more like that for them. But, you know, I think the next time we syndicate also, we'll try and syndicate 100% as well, just to try and, because, you know, at the end of it all, 50% wasn't enough. I had a bit more interest in 50%. So hopefully the next one we can fill up 100%.
Well, we wish you all the very best for the future. We'll be looking out for any Triple Crown contenders that set their foot out for the Guineas Day, and of course going forward all the way to SA Derby. Always exciting this time of the year for the Gauteng trainers, because it is obviously our season, and of course the De Kock stable a power force during the season. So we wish you, your team, all the very best, and to you, Matthew, on a mission syndicate, we wish you go from strength to strength, and we'll be looking out for more of those syndicate horses.
Thanks, Jules. Thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you. Well, thanks to Matthew De Kock, and we'll be back right after the break.
Your world of winners is now online at www.teletrack.com. Simply subscribe to log into your account from any mobile device in South Africa and access a wide variety of content from our membership package options. Listen in via a live audio stream, catch live racing locally and internationally, or view a wide variety of Teletrack magazine shows to stay informed and updated on the go at any time. It's never been easier. Go to teletrack.com now.
We take you to Blair Athol now for the Blair Athol World Sports Betting Golf Day.
Guys, I've been lucky enough to call a Triple Crown winner. I've been lucky enough to call Summer Cups. I've been lucky enough to go to places like Las Vegas and Los Angeles to go and watch the Breeders' Cup. But if you want to know the moment in my life that has touched me more than any other, it's what's happened here tonight. It's seeing guys walk up those stairs to come up for lunch and wish me all the best. The support that I've got is nothing short of overwhelming. Each and every one of you, even people that have gone home, people that have sent me messages that aren't here, you have no idea what it means to me. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you all very, very much. Thank you.
All spectrums of the racing industry, the breeders, the owners, racing operators, everyone, and people that couldn't be here today have come to the party in other ways privately without wanting any type of recognition. Like you mentioned, a noble endeavour, but we're not trying to be noble, we're just helping out a good friend. For myself, I've known Alistair since he was 5 and I was 7, good 20 odd years ago. And even then at 5 years old, he wanted to be a commentator. Well, I remember Alistair as being the little youngster who wanted to call races. And he needs our help, and here we are.
Oh, well, it was fantastic. This day is for Alistair, and nice to see him here as well. yeah, you know, you can see that the treatment is taking its toll, but he's a positive boy and he's got lots of support, as you can see from here. And yeah, you know, Alistair is one of us. So he's a name that people have been talking about globally. And for him to have it at such young age, in fact, I just had a chat to him now. You know, he's such a young man. He's such a young man. And, you know, this is fate. But we all have to take it in our stride. You know, life is a winding road. There's a lot of curbs and obstacles and speed bumps. And this is just one that he'll have to negotiate. For me, the important thing is support, because without support, you know, how do you feel? You know, and Alistair's got friends abreast in this racing community, and you can see it by the numbers that have supported this golf day today. I wish you all the best, Alistair. I know you're going to get through this. You're looking good. I know the treatment is taking its toll, but brother, we're going to see you back race calling. We're going to see you back presenting. We're going to see you back in the studio in the not too distant future. I wish you all the best. And yeah, it's only a pleasure being here, Bonski.
The media, journalists, punters, racing personalities, breeders, trainers, everyone is all here for Alistair. And it's been a great, great day. The golf has gone off well for some, not so well for others, but that's pretty typical, I think, of these golf days. And from all walks of life, we had full Giorgio, Trevor Ferree and the crew. Truck up here, I think would be a polite word for them lot. But anyway, they came up for a couple of days, a bit of a jaw, and Full and the crew, obviously, they just of the greatest guys, and they're willing to help out all the time. And there's so many from all over the country as well, including obviously the local Johannesburg guys. I mean, I'm not from Johannesburg. I've made the trip here this week to get this thing done with the help of my friend Anthony Datums. And it's been phenomenal and quite overwhelming, all the support.
I mean, it's only a pleasure. I think Alistair is a loved member of a racing community that we like to consider ourselves a part of. We all get together when somebody's going through a hard time, and we were so happy to be able to help him.
Obviously, mileage is important, but it's the noble endeavour that we spoke to Justin Vermaak about earlier on that is really more important.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's always nice to get your brand out there, but even if it wasn't, it was a no-brainer for us. We are here to help.
And Alistair, you know, he adds a completely different dimension to the game. His eloquence, his knowledge, his passion, it really is very rare.
I think so. I think the mere fact that the racing community came together so quickly after the news broke just tells you everything you need to know about him as a person. Everybody respects him. Everybody loves him. And it's never nice to see someone go through a hard time, but I think it's fantastic to see so many people pull together to try and help him through it.
Gee whiskers. I think he's brought new life to the game. His commentaries are brilliant. He's added such value to Teletrack as a whole, and we couldn't help but get involved. And great that Chris and Rainbow Beach Trading donated the service and the sponsor the hole for Pomodoro, who stands at Klavervlei. And yeah, we'll do everything we can to assist with the process as well. But great to see the turnout, as you say. Guys from everywhere. We've got Cape Town here, Durban here, and from Johannesburg. You know, when you've got a good bunch of mates, and we've seen it with so many other racing people that have been ill or have fallen on hard times, the racing community can come together, and when they do, the results are overwhelming. We've seen Paul Lafferty, look how he's come through his struggles, and I'm sure everyone who's come here today will be hoping that the same result happens for Alistair.
I think it was a good turnout. Everything went beautifully on the course, very well organised, and obviously Alistair's well liked, and that's, I suppose, why everybody's here to support and to wish him well. I mean, what you need in life is moral support at the end of the day. And I mean, people actually raise your spirits and make you laugh and keep you positive, and that's what you need in life, to stay positive, stay focused, and you know, just get through each day, and you know, you don't know what's on the other side. What an unbelievable opportunity for a lot of the players today. Wouldn't have been able to play on a course like this. Blair Athol, obviously a private golf course. A big thank you to the club captain, Alan Rami, to Paul Marks, the golf pro here, and obviously to the members for allowing us to, you know, take up one of their days. Obviously, weekend in a private club is a big deal, and it's just a massive thanks to all concerned.
Guys, I've been lucky enough to call a Triple Crown winner. I've been lucky enough to call Summer Cups. I've been lucky enough to go to places like Las Vegas and Los Angeles to go and watch the Breeders' Cup. But if you want to know the moment in my life that has touched me more than any other, it's what's happened here tonight. It's seeing guys walk up those stairs to come up for lunch and wish me all the best. The support that I've got is nothing short of overwhelming. Each and every one of you, even people that have gone home, people that have sent me messages that aren't here, you have no idea what it means to me. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you all very, very much. Thank you.
New Turf Carriers has been in long-distance transport since 1995 and pride themselves in excellent service. The bottom line is, New Turf Carriers take your horse from door to door with pride, passion and punctuality.
This year's CTS March Yearling Sale will be held at Durbanville Racecourse on Saturday the 18th and Sunday the 19th of March. The sale commences on Saturday at 6 p.m, where lots 1 to 100 will go through the ring, and on Sunday at 1 p.m, lots 101 to 235 will complete the sale. This sale has proved a huge success and has provided connections with great thrill and excitement. Illuminator was the inaugural winner of the CTS $1 Million. He was purchased for just $180,000 at the March 2014 sale, and how magical to win $1 million just 2 years later. This year's Sunmet Day provided two big stakes races for CTS graduates. The CTS Sprint and the CTS Mile are richly endowed races for 3-year-olds carrying stakes of $500,000 each. Qualifying graduates from the 2015 Cape Premier Yearling Sale, the 2015 CTS March Yearling Sale and the 2015 Emperor's Palace Yearling Sale were eligible, and the following lots lined up on Met Day. In the CTS Mile, 5 of the contestants were off the March 2015 sale. Lot 175 Copper Force was purchased for $70,000. Lot 155 Tilbury Fort was sold for $110,000. Lot 44 Safe Harbour sold for $100,000. Lot 144 Who's That Girl was purchased for $85,000, and lot 148 Primrose Lane sold for $220,000. And in the CTS Sprint, the 2 March 2015 candidates were Lot 64 #Strat bought for $125,000, and Lot 62 Star Flash, who went for $250,000. With Cape Thoroughbred sales offering so much incentive and excitement, this sale is not to be missed. A bargain can certainly be had, and keep your eyes on the prize. The stakes are big.
Up the outside, Just Essential is also running an absolute cracker, and Safe Harbour has taken off between runners. It's Safe Harbour that comes to the front with Just Essential. These two to the wire. Just Essential from Safe Harbour.
Joe's Bond hanging tough. Carry On Alice trying to get to her along the outside. Joe's Bond keeping her at bay. Carry On Alice. Scandal is running on. Joe's Bond keeps rolling though and stays on to win from Carry On Alice.
It's William Longsword with his head in front. He's taken the lead in the Guineas. Gold Standard is wearing him down with each and every stride. The post looming. William Longsword from Gold Standard.
Down here on the Cape, the weather, the grass, the horses. Here's where it is, Main Chance Farm, Champion Breeders.
Well, the driving force behind one of the world's greatest flat races, the Investec Derby, is Bernard Cantor. Andrew Bond catches up with Bernard and brings us this report.
Young Rake with along the inside, Flying Lucy, Confidence Man running on for Minor Money, but Young Raker swept to the lead with 100 to go. Flying Lucy's trying to rattle back, Confidence Man late, but Young Raker is going to defy Top Weight to win going away.
I'll bet that many of you ardent horse racing lovers have oft asked the question, perhaps even of yourselves, why am I actually involved in the sport? Why are they involved in a sport that unquestionably has more imponderables, variables and unanswered questions than any other sport on the planet. Well, there are many reasons for that, possibly too many to enumerate. But there is one man who has an unadulterated passion for the sport. A man called Bernard Cantor, who as a result has become a patron of our incredible sport, blessed with so much joy and entertainment. We caught up with him to ask him how he got hooked on horse racing.
Andrew, that's a very difficult question. I think one is either born with a love of the animal or can't understand what that love is. I happily fall into that category that just loves the animal. If my horses never ran, actually wouldn't worry me. I love the breeding side of it. I think it's fascinating to take a filly who turns out to be, who retires and you turn her into a broodmare, and look at the various selections of stallions around and see what ultimately comes out and follow the horse and its development. And if you're privileged enough to own it, once it goes onto the sales or be in a position to buy it back, watch its career and try and learn something from what you did right or wrong. I speak to many leading breeders in the country. I mean, Chris Saunders has been incredibly, his knowledge is just absolutely incredible. I mean, for me to achieve that knowledge is going to take about 20 years. So I guess that I've got to leave it to the professionals. Lionel speaks to me often, Lionel Cohen at Odessa. One's just got to rely on their judgment, and in the death, I hope that they're right.
Bernard, if you don't mind interrupting for a second, right, let's go back to the very beginning. Carl Ebb was your first trainer, wasn't he?
Yeah, Carl was interesting. In fact, my younger brother, who now lives in London, introduced me to this wonderful game, and at that point in time, he had met Carl at a party, and I didn't understand what racing was about. But he left me, when he went, he left me with an animal called Sudden Gold. And I think that's when I got smitten. He was a lovely animal. Used to love the wet. I couldn't understand why some horses enjoy running in the wet and others don't. But you learn so much. There's just so much you never know enough.
Quirinetta now feeding a left-hand whip to hold the advantage. Cincinnati's a lively danger along the outside. Emerald Point, London Dandy's at a switch out, and Sun Gold coming with him on the outside. This is a ding-dong battle. Quirinetta, London Dandy and Sudden Gold are the dangers on the outside. Now Sudden Gold and London Dandy, but Sudden Gold is going the better as they drive to the line, and Sudden Gold, owned by Messrs. H.H. Utah, M.A. Jalakis and B. Cantor, trained by Carl Ebb and ridden by Pierce Draynham.
And I stayed with Carl till he left. Then it became a bit more difficult, and I got a lot more involved. Patrick, we had a common friend, and I met him. And Patrick grew up with horses. You know, he just has such an incredible feel for them. Not that the others don't, but that's his absolute forte and his strength. Johnny and Patrick, they're an incredible team to be associated with. They care for that animal as much as I do. And if one of my horses get beaten when we expect it to run a good race or doesn't perform the way we thought it would, Johnny's devastated. You know. And sadly, the Guineas was a classic example. I mean, Johnny broke his ankle, we were drawn badly. It was just one of those things, but that's racing, you know.
Bernard, I get the impression that horse racing certainly is a pressure release in your life.
The bad news is you're correct. The good news, it gets better. The more you know, the better it gets. It becomes, it's hard to explain. You know, Laurie once said to me that one needs a counter-irritant in life. So I guess business must be your first irritant, and thereafter you need a counter-irritant. Horse racing, the whole industry is such a fantastic substitute. It is that animal. They are just so majestic. I mean, the love of my life at the moment is Sovereign Seas. He's such a typically good-looking main man. I can't tell you. When I see him, it just changes my day. He's a beautiful animal. Juvenescent, I love dearly. She was a wonderful animal. Glad Singer. They all just absolutely take your mind off everything, as you say. It's a different world.
Tell us a little bit about your involvement with the Highveld Thoroughbred Horse Care Unit.
When I just got involved in the game, we had a day called, if I remember correctly, Operation Pegasus, and raised, I think in those days, 250 or 300,000 rand for the protection and the caring of animals in distress. specifically horses and horses that have been neglected. That was difficult, I can tell you. To get the various clubs to cooperate was a nightmare. But from that day on, I've tried to remind people that racing is not just about the race day. There's a whole commitment and responsibility that goes with owning a horse. And I think so many of us tend to forget that those animals, as you say, have provided a huge amount of entertainment. And you would be devastated to see what happens to some of our wonderful horses. And for that reason, I've developed a relationship with Bev and her team at the Highveld Horse Care Unit. And they just do an amazing job. I could not do what they do. To go and pick up horses that have been half bludgeoned to death somewhere or other, I can't do.
What of the positive moves in horse racing do you think you could ever get yourself involved if you decided to give up banking?
Andrew, yes, it is a passion, obviously. I'm not about to get out of banking, but there are some people, I think, in this country who have a great understanding of the game, who have far more knowledge than I have on what it requires. I just think it needs the industry to wake up, and I think the privatisation process that we're going through in Gauteng could be the kickstart to what is needed. I think that will be an incredibly successful privatisation, and it positions the industry, ultimately a listed company that can then use its imagination and its vision, and hopefully there'll be a board of directors who can take that like any other company and utilise what it has to develop internationally, not only locally, because there's no reason whatsoever why, once we have paper, which is negotiable, shares, that we can't place in and acquire courses in Mauritius, acquire in Malaysia, build one or two in China. There's no stopping. You know, I think that it's really one of the most significant things that has happened to the horse racing industry in South Africa.
Golden Incense, Juvenescent taking off with Burns Pride on the far side and flying up the outside. Pleasure Garden, but Juvenescent won it. Sovereign Seas, Prince of Wonder and Drumstar's catching stride for stride. Drumstar and Sovereign Seas, they hit and hit as they come to the wire, and Sovereign Seas. Makeshift's putting in a strong claim on the outside. Makeshift and Australian Myth. Makeshift won it. Sovereign Seas, though, taking command. St. Blair's trying to fight back over the last 100 metres, but it's Sovereign Seas. St. Blair's trying to make a claim, but it's Sovereign Seas still win it. Second, St. Blair. Third place, Hardball.
Time Thief stands at Naddison Park, owned by Hassan Adams and situated in one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Time Thief is a son of Redoubt's choice. He's out of the mare Procrastinate, which makes him a half-brother to Laissez-Faire, undoubtedly the best sprinting filly that this country has seen for many, many a year.
The year before Frankel won the Dewhurst Stakes Group 1, that European Championship Class 2-year-old race was fought out in a three-way finish involving Fencing Master, carrying the purple and white Coolmore partnership colours. Newmarket's 7 furlongs requires much from the juveniles at the front end. Speed, balance going into that 350-year-old dip, power to drive out of it, and guts to cope with as wide a course as any young horse has ever seen. Fencing Master had a horrible run in the Dewhurst, going round runners to get clear, and finished second, beaten a neck. Behind Fencing Master were several future good horses. Dick Turpin's next Group 1 exploits were second in the French Guineas, winning the Prix Jean Prat, and finishing second in the stallion-making St. James's Palace Stakes at Royal Ascot. But he did not beat Fencing Master. Pure Champion was a bravely named Coolmore stablemate who went on to win Group 1 in Australasia, but the best horse behind Fencing Master that day was third-place finisher Extension. He went on to win the same Group 1 that Variety Club won in Hong Kong. Yes, Variety Club was the first overseas horse to win that race, because Extension had transferred to John Moore in Hong Kong. But Extension did not beat Fencing Master. Did Fencing Master not train on? He ran very well in the 2000 Guineas and was group placed at Goodwood, but then Dubai simply did not suit. Perhaps today, with a number of 2-year-olds retiring to go to stud at 3, emulating Holy Roman Emperor and one of the world's hottest sires, Dark Angel, Fencing Master might have gone straight to stud. But he tried in Dubai, then his owner, Colin Bird, wanted him in southern Africa. Mr. Bird's nature is to include in his decisions the factor that it might do some good. So he sent him to Zimbabwe to support the industry and particular people there. Now this may work out well, because the resultant progeny includes South Africa import and 5-length winner, also 5 times placed, Mount Keith, trained by Glenn Cotson, while those left behind have notched up wins and places as well. Joining Fencing Master in South Africa are 2-year-olds by him, now in training with Gavin van Sale, Yvette Bremner, Roy Magner and Glenn Cotson, with others to follow under a managed program. 2 yearlings will be offered at the CTS March sale by Cheminada Stud, now the home of Fencing Master himself. Those youngsters drew highly admiring comments when paraded at the stallion's launch. One is out of a 3 times winning mare by Cape Cross, and the other out of a 4 times winning full black typer, Tibushina, her first foal, and a cracker she is. Others will follow in later sales. Fencing Master is by multiple Group 1 winner and sire Oratorio. Out of Group 1 winner Moonlight Dance by Alishiba, whose mention is exciting enough, but more than that, Fencing Master is 4x3 inbred to Alidar himself. Fencing Master has an excellent temperament, covers very professionally, and is far and away scopier than might be expected, and he passes on that great merit. He is a horse with a magnificent female line. His dam, the Alishiba mare Moonlight Dance, won a French Group 1. His grandam, Madelia, by Caro, won 2 French Classics. And his great-grandam produced the Group 1 winner Mount Hagen. Exciting, high-quality bloodlines all. Possible names for Fencing Master's progeny should include Airbus, 747 or Dreamliner, because they inherit their sire's very large air intakes. Yearling selectors take note of nostril size. Fencing Masters could have been designed by the aero engineers at Rolls-Royce. Fencing Master stands with David Hepburn Brown at Cheminada Stud near Hermanus for a fee of 10,000 Rand plus VAT live foal, with the Allen Stallions scale of fees for volume bookings available to reduce that figure. Colin Bird, David Hepburn Brown and David Allen of Allen Bloodlines are very grateful to those breeders who supported Fencing Master in 2016, having seen him at his launch or later on the farm. The resultant foals should be of sufficient number to make a serious impact added to his recent imports. If Fencing Master looked good soon after arrival on the farm, well, you should see him now.
He was champion 2-year-old in Ireland. Pathfork, son of Distorted Humour, stands at Highland Stud and is managed by John Freeman.
The inside, but Bobby Dazzler, he's out in front and clear. Bobby Dazzler from Cossack Guard.
And it's elusive path that breezes on by into the closing stages.
My Friendly keeping rolling out. My Friendly is going on strongly.
Catching will win. Path to Glory to win it and win it by about 3 lengths.
And here's the latest sensation in KwaZulu-Natal with a magical stride, Red Chestnut Road.
Secret Star with 100 to go is well clear of her field. And Secret Star by 5-6 lengths here.
Southside goes away to win again. A very impressive victory. The battle's on for the places.
Outside is Pepe Le Pew, but it's Turbo in front, and Turbo has won this well.
Pathfork was undefeated at 2 years in Ireland to become the highest-rated 2-year-old in Ireland in 2010. And with an official Timeform rating of 120, he was one of the top 5 rated 2-year-olds of his year in the world. He broke his maiden in July by 4 lengths, easing up over 7 furlongs. His second start in August took him to the Group 2 Galileo Futurity Stakes, which he won by 1.5 lengths, also over 1,400 metres on firm ground.
And Pathfork from Glornamara, a break then to High Ruler and Samuel Morse. But Pathfork is digging deep for Franberry, and Pathfork will make it 2 out of 2, wins the Galileo Futurity.
He went back to the Curragh a month later with yet another step up in class to win the Group 1 Vincent O'Brien National Stakes, despite the race being run on ground unsuited to his smooth ground-saving action.
Pathfork and Franberry, Casamento on the near side, Declan McDonough, they're inside the last 100 yards. Pathfork is 3 parts of a length to spare. He's going to keep his unbeaten record. Pathfork and Franberry win it for Jessica Harrington.
Here, he again took on an illustrious field, which included Zoffany and Casamento. He was crowned Irish champion 2-year-old, undefeated in his 3 starts at 2 years. Jessica Harrington heaped praise on her former champion and said that he was a very straightforward horse right from the start. Even a child could ride him. All of Pathfork's first 3 dams are stakes winners, and 2 of them have Group 1 form of their own. All of the first 3 dams have produced a Group 1 winner and/or a champion. He stands at Highland Stud Farm and is managed by John Freeman.
Another one of Freeman's stallions is What a Winter, whose progeny already is making their mark on the racetracks.
What a Winter was a unique racehorse blessed with precocity, speed, and a brilliant temperament. The lightning-fast sprinting son of Western Winter won 15 races, including 4 Grade 1s, the Computerform Sprint, the Cape Flying Championship twice, and the Mercury Sprint. In short, he was a world-class sprinter.
What a Winter is flying down the inside, and What a Winter has won the Computerform Sprint. What a Winter, what a sprinter.
It's Dutch Phillip on the stand side. Captain, my captain, is under the right-handed stick, and then comes Wonderwall. But it's Dutch Phillip. He's travelling well into the closing stages, and Dutch Phillip will win the first. It's Magical Wonderland that takes the lead into the final 100 and starting to stretch away into the closing stages. Miss Frankel won't find the frame as Magical Wonderland wins it. It's Nana Anna, the one in front. The jockeys call for the stick, but finds another gear. Casual Diamond is on the descent up the outside. Then comes Believe This Beauty Kamaishi coming through on the inside, but Nana Anna's going from start to finish to win it.
join us for our next breeding to win on Sunday, the 12th of March. From myself, Julie Alexander, and the rest of the Breeding to Win team, goodbye.
Straight down the middle, it went straight down the middle. Then it started to hook just a wee bit, and that's when my caddy lost sight of it. That little white pellet has never...
So they range between 4,000 and 8,000 rand, okay? So that's why I need a good golfer, okay? So I'm quite... Where are you handicapped? Atlantic Beach, okay, so you like a scratch up here, so I'm quite comfortable with it. Okay. Right, so Nolsey's going to have a go. You saw how easy he was? He's not a trick shot artist, okay? Off he goes, right.
Thanks, guys. Get on. My caddy says, as long as you're still in the state, you're okay. Yes, it went straight down the middle.
Right, we're going to have to talk about this, okay? 8 handicap, are you sure? All right, okay, well, now, seeing as you've cocked that up, okay, really, you've cocked that up, okay, we'll chat about that later, okay? But, okay, so it wasn't supposed to happen like that, okay? All right, so assume the position. All right, there we go, okay? So another way of actually playing the shot might have been to use the terrain, okay? He's your better ball partner, you may as well use him.
I'm in my glory when wrapped in a towel, I say that it went straight down the middle today.
Out of 10, Carry On Alice breaks their hearts again. Pulling clear in the closing stages. Smart Call wins the Jambi Mid. And Smart Call comes home to win it in the Main Chance Farms Paddock Stakes.